Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a huge topic for all you property owners out there. We are going to lay out a simple 5-step blueprint to take your holiday let from, underbooked to totally unforgettable. Okay, let's get right into it.
So, does this look a little familiar? You've poured your heart and soul into this fantastic property, but for whatever reason, the bookings just aren't rolling in like you hoped. It is a super frustrating place to be, but trust me, it's a problem we can absolutely solve. See, the key isn't just having a great place, it's all about having a great plan.
And here's that plan. This is the roadmap. We're going to walk through this 5-step blueprint together. We'll start with the absolute foundation, research. Then, we'll draft a winning strategy, build out your online presence, price for maximum profit, and finally, and this is so important, we'll talk about how to adapt for long-term success.
All right, first up, Section 1, Know Your Battlefield. Love that title. Look, before you can win the booking game, you have to understand the playing field. Every single successful marketing plan is built on this solid foundation of knowing your market inside and out.
And really, it all boils down to these 3 key areas. First, your area. Is your property in a ski resort that just explodes in winter? Or a coastal town that's the place to be in summer? Understanding those seasonal ebbs and flows is absolutely crucial. Second, who are you talking to? You can't be everything to everyone. So who's your ideal guest? Are we talking families that need space, or maybe couples looking for a romantic escape? And finally, your competition. You got to scope out the other successful rentals nearby. What are they doing right? And maybe more importantly, what can you do better?
Okay, so once you've got all that research in your back pocket, we can move on to step 2, drafting your winning blueprint. This part isn't about throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, it's about building a really strategic plan for success.
And your blueprint really needs these 4 core things. First, you've got to set clear, measurable goals. Don't just say, I want more bookings. No, aim for something specific, like an 80% occupancy rate or a certain revenue target. Next, and this is my favorite part, define your unique selling points, your USPs. This is what makes your place special, and we'll dig into that in just a sec. Third, choose your channels. Where are your ideal guests actually hanging out online? And finally, you have to allocate a budget. Know how much you're willing to spend and when you're going to spend it.
A powerful USP? Well, it's not just a description, it's a promise. It's that one thing that makes your property completely stand out from the crowd. You have to think specific. So not just a nice view, but the only rental in the area with panoramic sunset views and a private hot tub. See the difference? You have to figure out what makes you different and then shout it from the rooftops in all of your marketing. All right, let's move on to Section 3, build your online presence. You've got a plan, you know what makes you special, now it's time for execution. This is where the rubber meets the road, where you connect with potential guests and turn their casual browsing into a confirmed booking.
In today's digital world, your listing is basically your storefront, and a killer online presence is built on 4 pillars. First, stunning professional photos. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. Then, you need to write descriptions that don't just list features, they sell an experience. Use your positive guest reviews to build trust and what we call social proof. And hey, if you really want to go the extra mile, a virtual tour is an incredible tool to let people truly imagine themselves in your space.
Now, a huge part of your online presence is choosing the right platforms. This table gives us a really interesting snapshot of the big 3. You can see Airbnb has the most listings by a long shot. But look at Booking.com. It has a slightly higher average occupancy rate. And then you've got HomeAway, which boasts the highest average daily rate. Now, you don't have to choose just one, but you do need to know where your target audience is spending their time searching.
Let's just zero in on that occupancy rate for a second. As you can see right here, Booking.com just edges out Airbnb in this particular set of data. Now, does that mean it's automatically the best choice for you? Not necessarily, but it is a powerful piece of information. It shows that guests on that platform are booking at a really high rate, which, translates directly to more potential income for you.
All right, let's talk about money. Section 4, price for profit. Getting your price right is honestly one of the most powerful marketing tools you have. It's this delicate balance, right, between maximizing your revenue and making sure you have a high occupancy rate. So, broadly speaking, there are 2 ways to go about it. You've got static pricing, which is kind of the old set it and forget it method, one price every single night, no matter what. And then you have dynamic pricing. This is the smart, responsive way. Your price actually changes based on things like demand, the season, local events, you name it. And let me tell you, in today's market,
Dynamic is almost always the way to go.
So what does dynamic pricing actually look like in practice? Well, it means raising your prices during that big local music festival or during the peak summer season. It means offering a small discount to fill a last-minute vacancy instead of just letting the night go completely empty. It's about charging a premium for those high-demand weekends and maybe offering incentives for longer, week-long stays. This is how you optimize every single night on your calendar for maximum profit.
And that brings us to our fifth and final step, evolving for success. This is what really separates the amateurs from the pros. Because a great marketing plan isn't static. It's a living, breathing thing that you have to constantly tweak and refine.
The biggest takeaway here, the thing I really want you to remember, is that you can't just create your plan and then walk away. The market changes, guest expectations change, and your strategy has to change right along with them. Think of it like a garden. It needs constant tending if you want it to truly flourish.
So to know how to adapt, you need to track your performance. These are some of the most important numbers to keep an eye on. Are your occupancy rates where you want them to be? How far in advance are people booking? What are your guests actually saying in their reviews? And are you maximizing your revenue for every available night? The answers to these questions are what will guide all of your future adjustments.
And let's not forget the goal here. Remember that 80% occupancy rate we saw on Booking.com earlier? That's not some impossible dream. When you combine that deep market knowledge, a clear strategy, a compelling online presence, and really smart pricing, numbers just like that are absolutely within your reach.
So there you have it, the 5-step blueprint to a winning marketing plan. I know we've covered a lot, but remember, it all starts with just one small step. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you have the blueprint, what's the one thing you're going to go and improve today?